Welcome back, guys. In this video I'm going to discuss about the job opportunities in Turkey during the studies and after the graduation. So first of all, you need to know about the status of student here in Turkey. When you came here in Turkey as a student, they issue you a kimlik, a kind of a residence permit that is only valid as a student. In Turkey, as an international student, you cannot work full-time job, but there are some possibilities and there are some scenarios where you can work as a part-time job, but that part-time job is you cannot do part-time job more than 20 hours in a week. So in this video I will explain all these scenarios, that what are the possibilities of finding job during your studies and what are the possibilities of finding job after your graduation. So first of all, I would like to tell you about during graduation. So during graduation, there are, like, when you come here in Turkey, either as an international student or either as a bachelor student, first year you need to learn Turkish language. There is no exemption of that. Then you must need to learn Turkish language in the first year. In that first year, you are not allowed to work even as a part-time, not part-time, not full-time. Yeah, you can do some jobs like online jobs or freelancing. That's all you can do here. But as far as the uh, part-time or physical full-time jobs are concerned, you cannot do it as a student in the first year when you learn Turkish language. So that is your preparatory year and you need to focus on your language. Well, in the second year, then there are possibilities. Like for the bachelor students, they cannot work even as a part-time, even as a full-time job during their studies. Bachelor students, I'm talking about the bachelor students, that they cannot work here as a full-time employee or as a part-time employee. But as far as the masters and PhD students are concerned, they can work here in Turkey as a part-time job, just part-time. They cannot do full-time job or a full-day job during their studies. Masters and PhD students, they are the only groups that are allowed to continue their part-time jobs. And the thing is that how can you do part-time job? So there is a procedure to do part-time jobs. The procedure you have to follow. If you will not follow, there are maximum chances to be deported if you get caught while doing job. So the procedure is that if you are doing job, you need to go to your employee that you are doing part-time job, and your employer that who will hire you as a part-time employee, he will submit and request to the Gochidaresi. It's like an immigration office of Turkey, that this student, he came here in Turkey as an international student and currently working with them as a part-time job. So you have to let them know that you are doing part-time job. So the next thing is that you are not the one who will let them know. The employer who will give you the job, he will submit an application on your behalf that this student is working under my supervision or something like that, and he is working as a part-time job. So Gochidaresi will allow you to work as a part-time employee, and that request will be filled by or submitted by your employer. You cannot do anything. The thing is that if you are doing part-time job and you are a scholarship student, and your employer will let Gochidaresi know that you are doing part-time job, then if you are a scholarship student, maybe your scholarship amount is going to be reduced. Or if they will see that your income is good, you are earning good even as a part-time student, so maybe there are chances that your scholarship will be fully, you will not be able to continue as a scholarship student. Maybe they will pay your tuition fee, but the amount they are giving you as a stipend, so maybe they will cut half of it, or maybe 75% of it, or maybe full. It totally depends on the type of job that you are currently doing. The second thing is that if you want to do a full-time job in Turkey after your graduation, how can you do it? How can you find it? Or how can you take permission for doing job here in Turkey? And how many chances are there that you can find job here in Turkey with ease? So the thing is that first of all, I would like to tell you the process that how can you take permission in Turkey after your graduation to find a job. So after your graduation, the first thing that you need to do is that if you want to do a job, the first thing you need to do is to fill an application in Goche Dairesi again, in residence permit or immigration office, that you want to find a job in Turkey and you are graduated from Turkey and you want to find a job in Turkey, and they will allow you to find a job for 1 year after your graduation. But there are some terms and conditions. You need to show them that you have the assets, you have the resources to stay here in Turkey. Because remember, after your graduation, you are not more a scholarship students. No one will give you even a penny. So you have to show the resources that you can sponsor yourself by your own. Like, for example, if you want to stay for full 1 year, you have to show them in the bank account that you have this much money. Like, for example, for an instance, if the average monthly expenses here in Turkey is around about 500 to 600 US dollar, according to that, you have to show them in your bank account that for 1 year you have this much resources. For example, for 1 year, if we multiply 6 for 12 times, is about 7,000, almost 7,000 US dollar. You have to show them in your bank account that you have these resources and you can afford yourself in Turkey while finding a job. The best thing about studying in Turkey, that they will allow you to stay here for 1 year. And the other thing that we can say it's not favorable, that you need to show them that you have resources. You have resources to fund yourself. All right. And after doing that, you have to fill the application and they will give you just 1 year to find a job here in Turkey. After finding that all the documents are correct, your reasons are correct, you are reasonable, and you have enough resources to stay alive here in Turkey for full 1 year. So they will give you 1 year to find a job. So let's move to the other part, that how easy is it to find a job in Turkey after graduation. I will answer this question according to what I have found on some economics statistics. I have found that, I have discovered that, so I will try to give you answer considering those statistics is in front of me. So first thing is that I would like to tell you the employment rate in Turkey is 53%. That's almost equal to, if I compare the employment rate in Turkey to the employment rate in Pakistan, it's almost equal. The employment rate in Turkey is 53%, employment rate in Pakistan is 52%. So it's almost equal. But if I talk about the unemployment rate is somehow higher in Turkey as compared to Pakistan. Pakistan is the largest countries as compared to Turkey. If we consider as in terms of the population, Pakistan is the biggest and largest country as compared to Turkey. But if you see the unemployment rate, the people who are unemployed in Pakistan, if you see, it's around about 7.9%. In Turkey, if you see the unemployment rate here, you will see it's 8.3%. So you can see it's almost the same. The unemployment rate in Turkey is almost the same as in Pakistan. So if you really want to find a job in Turkey, you have to be talented, you have to be skillful, you have to perform, you have to have a good experience in your past, you have to have a good knowledge of the field, just like you have to have all these things while finding a job in Pakistan. So in other words, it's not easy. It's not very easy to find a professional job in Turkey, considering the employment and unemployment rate of Turkey and comparing it to with Pakistan, the employment and unemployment rate of Pakistan. So you must have to stand tall among all of them, not just in your skills, in your knowledge, but also in language. Because if you are doing job here in Turkey, you have to be good in Turkish language. So you have to be better. If you really want to compete here with locals, you have to be better with them in every perspective, in knowledge, in terms of knowledge, in terms of skills, in terms of experience, and in terms of language. So you must keep all these things into your mind before going forward and before thinking about finding a job in Turkey. So that's all about for today's video. I hope my video answers your all questions that have been in your mind and that you have been asking to me since I came here. And I hope that this video will clear the confusion in your mind and will prepare you better for the future if you are thinking and if you are coming here in Turkey to continue your studies. So you must have to think about all these perspectives, that what is the thing that you want to do in your future after studying here, that you must have to plan thoroughly before coming. So that's all about my today's video. I hope you enjoyed it and it gave you some learning insights that you never know before. We'll see you in the next video on some I will try to make the next videos showing you the routine of the dorm and some other stuff. Until then, see you later. Goodbye.